Dear teachers and friends, today I will present a project report on database management system. The topic that I present is backup Oracle database using RMAN. My presentation has 5 parts. Part 1 is backup and restore concept. Part 2 is the purpose of backup and restore. Part 3 is types of backup and restore. Part 4 is backup and restore database task. And Part 5 is solutions and demo. Now I will talk about the first part. According to an article from the Amazon Web Service website, data backup is an extremely important part of database design. So I was looking for more information. What is backup and why is it so important? In the information technology world, a backup, commonly referred to as data backup, is a digital copy of computer data that is taken and stored safely on another computer system, so it can be used to restore the original in the event of data loss. This can be understood as a noun. A data backup is a copy or archive of all the important information your organization has and given digital hardware. As a verb, backing up your data means you have created a copy or a data backup, which is then stored in a separate secure location and then recognized as a restoration device for your machine. As for data recovery, recovering your data is a strategy that allows a person or a company to maintain control of their backup after a natural disaster or after various data loss events like theft and intentional damage. Think of it like this. Backup is a process of storing a copy of your data for safekeeping, while backup recovery is the process of restoring that data in the event of a data loss event. Now I will talk about the second part. So why backup and restore data? Data is the most important asset for any organization, and losing data can cause disrupt business operations. But data loss can happen at any time. It can be a result of hardware failure, data corruption, or even by human interference like virus or malware attacks and accidental data deletion. Backing up your data is one of the safest ways to ensure that you are being proactive about your data security. By this way, if disaster strikes, you can rest easy and know your information still exists elsewhere. Having a backup copy will help you to restore the data that was affected to get your business back on its feet after one of these disasters occur. To summarize, the two main purposes of data backup and restore are: the first one, data preservation, which involves creating a database copy for long-term storage. The second one, data transfer, which involves moving data from one database or one host to another. Now I will talk about the next part. The types of backup and restore are clearly stated in its terminology. In detail, the backup of a part of all the objects and files related to the database. Backups can be divided into physical backups and logical backups. First, logical backup is a backup of objects in a database, like table or schema. Physical backup is the backup of database files, like data files, control files, archive redo logs, etc. A physical backup can be hot or cold. First, online backup or hot backup is the backup when the database is working. Users can modify the database during a hot backup. Log files of changes made during the backup are saved, and the log changes are applied to synchronize the database and the backup copy. The next one is offline backup or cold backup. Is the backup when the database is not working. The next terminology is restore. Restores mean restoring the database from a backup. Recover mean recovering database from archive log and online redo log. Normally, physical backup is suitable in large, important databases that need to be recovered quickly when problems occur. Logical backup is suitable for smaller amounts of data. Test database where you might edit the data values or table structure or recreate a data on a different machine architecture, such as exporting database objects such as tables or table space, are a useful supplement to physical backups, but cannot protect the whole database. An effective backup strategy must be based on physical backup. For example, export schema to backup before testing. Just re-import anything. Now I will talk about the part 4. Tasks related to backup or recovery are usually configuration is configured parameters. Scheduling, scheduled backup to run automatically. Monitoring is monitor the backup, check to make sure that the backup is successful. For example, monitor the space usage in the fast recovery area to ensure that it is large enough to contain the backups and other recovery-related files. The next one is validating and testing. Periodically check whether your backups are intact and can be used to meet your recoverability objectives. And the last one is restore or recovery. Restore to create a test database, restore or recovery when something goes wrong. Now I will talk about the part 5. The focus in Oracle database backup and recovery is on the physical backup of database files, which permits you to reconstruct your database. And Oracle also gives you a choice between 2 basic methods for recovering physical files. The first one is Oracle Recovery Manager, or RMAN, and the second one is User Manage. About the User Manage, the basic User Manage backup strategy is to make periodic backups of data files in archive logs with operating system commands. About the RMAN, or Oracle Recovery Manager, is a tool used to backup or restore Oracle database. Most tasks related to database backup and recovery are performed using RMAN because it is a powerful and specialized tool. Of course, in addition to RMAN, we can also use self-copy, export data for backup, but using RMAN always brings advantages compared to other ways. Next, I will talk about the part 6. Before doing the demo, I will learn about the last 2 concepts. Those are archive lock mode and no archive lock mode. Archive lock mode is an Oracle mode for database backup. Archiver process is the process responsible for locking files to archive files for archiving. We can use these archive locks to restore data. Its advantages is that they can perform the hot backups even when the data is online. With the backup files, archive logs, it is completely possible to restore the data to its original state at any time when needed. Its limit is that archive log can cause hard drive overflow because archive log generates too much. About the no archive log mode, we can understand it in contrary with the archive log mode. Now I will talk about the physical backup. First one is online backup or cold backup. The files we should backup include data files, control files, archive log files, parameter files, P files, SP files, password file, and other files as shown on the screen. In order to perform a cold backup, the database must be in no archive log mode. So first, I will open the SQL Plus, connect to user SYS, and enter the password. In order to perform a cold backup, the database must be in no archive log mode. So first, I will open the SQL Plus, connect to user SYS, and enter the password. I will check the database log mode status with the command archive log list. Since the database is in no archive log mode here, I don't need to change it. So ready for backup? First, I will go to command prompt. Start RMAN and connect to the target database with the command on the screen. Next, close the database and reboot in the mouse days using the script as shown in the video. Then run the database backup command backup as copy database and then open the database and resume normal operation. For hard backup, when backing up online, you can back up following files: data files, control files, archive log files, power meter file, and other files like password file you still have to back up yourself. I also check the database log mode similar to cold backup. However, because the hard backup requires archive log mode, so I need to change it. First, I will close the database and reboot in mouse day. Next, turn on archive log mode and open the database. The third one is check the database mode again. And the next one is because it was changed successfully, so I will quit the SQL+. Next, I will make a backup. First, I will go to the command prompt, start an rman and connect to the target database. Next, I will run the database backup command, backup database plus archive log. In addition to following the default parameter settings of rman, you can also customize it to better suit your own needs. But my presentation was too long, so this part I have detailed in my report files. Thank you for listening to my report.